Well, I welcome you here this morning. This is the last Sunday in July here at Alpine Church of Spiritual Living, and it's a very special day for us. We are honoring our volunteers that have been giving so much of themselves throughout this last year and beyond, and we are so blessed to have Cahill and Deline here with us today too. Woo-hoo. And the fact that this is a very good day indeed. So I'm just announcing that from the get-go. And I'm also announcing, as you see on your tables, a flyer, that yes, we are going to be having a summer concert here at Alpine Church of Spiritual Living in Fuller Hall. That's going to be featuring Cahill and Deline on Sunday, August 29th at 3 o'clock. So tickets are available today. You can see Deb if you want to get your ticket today. And we're just so thrilled to be able to actually have a gathering and be able to experience their wonderful energy in that regard. So just share it with your friends and family. We want to fill this place to overflowing on that Sunday. So please talk it up and let's make sure that we have this grand event. So our theme this month, throughout the month, has been to be free. And I thought that it would be a good choice to choose for our topic today, Be Light, because we are honoring our volunteers and those people who give of themselves. And like I wrote in the Thought for the Week, there's a lot of different angles that you can look at this topic from, be it from a physical standpoint, where we burden ourselves down heavy-wise, weight-wise, with the stuff in life, that we feel we need to have. Again, like I said, I've cleared out a couple cupboards. Well, actually, I had a professional come over and help me. and that helps tremendously. And then I look at my office, and I thought, if only I would just clean my desk. Just clear out my desk, and then Vicki, next time you come over, you could actually clean it. Because right now there's just too much stuff on it. So the physical things in life weigh us down. There's just no doubt about that. And there's also those things that we keep in our minds and in our hearts and our emotions that weigh us down, that burden us. And remember, we're to be light, we're to be free, we're to be letting this energy that is within us, that is infinite and unlimited, out. And when we find ourselves closing it in, restricting it in any way by means of our thoughts, by means of our emotions, that's not the way life wants to work. In fact, a couple weeks ago, we talked about this whole thing of non-attachment in kenosis, of emptying ourselves out, of letting go of all of that stuff internally within us. So we want to remain open and available to what this Spirit is going to do for us. That's why I so honor our volunteers, because these are folks that say yes. These are folks that are willing to be broader in the moment than what they had been in the past. And really that's what it takes. I believe that so many of us, when we get into our little comfort zone of knowing that this is me, this is what I want to do, this is where I'm at, this is fine, and I'm comfortable with it. And what happens is that we lose our perception of recognizing that life happens in the now. And we lose the perception, we lose that ability to recognize that life is whole, that life is one. And that's why so many times when I say yes to you, I'm saying yes to me. For there is just one self. As I give I am giving from my wholeness to myself. There is only one self. And so we want to recognize that. We want to let ourselves let go of these limitations, of the expectations, and free ourselves to do something new, to do something different that maybe we have never done before. I had an interesting conversation this last week. Reverend Dr. Jerry Troyer gave me a call. He and I actually speak not frequently, but intermittently, because he and I are both on the committee for the Affiliated New Thought Network conference that's coming up this year. We've been on it now for a year, over a year and a half, because it was supposed to have happened last year, and so we put it off. Now it's finally happening this October. So I speak to Jerry intermittently, but he called me the other day and told me that he had heard in our conversation and in the conference call, as we do like a little catch up with each other, because it had been a while since we spoke, that I mentioned that I'm only watching Adeline, my granddaughter, 2 days out of the week now instead of 5. And so he said, you know, Gay, we have an opening, we have 2 openings actually on the Anton board. And I'm wondering if you might be open and available to consider taking one of those positions. And you see, the Affiliated New Thought Network is the group that we've been a member of since 1995. And so when Tony LaMotta was our minister, we joined this group. And it's kind of an umbrella over the independent religious science churches. And so I've been going to their conferences, their annual conferences, since 2000. Know a lot of the people. I've done a lot of volunteering, a little tiny bit, you know, on the days of the annual conferences. You know, I'll do a prayer or something, you know. But I had been working full time, and so I just didn't feel like I wanted to make the commitment to get on the board, because I've been asked more than once. This wasn't the first time they've asked me. And so, but this time when he asked me, I mean, literally, it took me less than a minute to say, sure, yeah, it feels right now. Yeah, I think I can do that. I think I would be happy to do that. So then he sent me the packet of information as to what I have to complete, fill in, and, you know, get letters of recommendation and all that kind of business. And so I'm happy to do that, because you know why? I recognize that in my mind, as I stand here right now, I think I know what it's going to be about. But do I really know? No, not really. Am I stepping out of my comfort zone? Absolutely. It reminds me so much of when I was in the Toastmasters group back in the early 90s. And I mean, just to go to the Toastmaster group was like a big step, you know, just to stand there, you know, and oh my gosh, table topics. Do you know what table topics is? They throw out a word of the day, and then you have a minute when they call on you just at random, and you have to use the word of the day in a sentence. And I think you talk for a minute, yes, just, and so you have to it's just like a spontaneous thing where you have to get up and then use this word. Most of the time you've never heard the darn word before, and they do give you the meaning of it, but it's like, ooh, you know. And so I can remember in that group, I had been in the group, perhaps a year, I'm guessing. And it came to where I don't remember even how it came up, but anyway, I became the president of this group. And it shocked me. Really, it did, because oh my gosh, I'm going to be the president of this. And yet, you know, I stepped up, was able to run with it and do it. And how many things like that have you had in your life? When you think back and you say, boy, I thought I was, you know, stepping off the edge, you know, in doing that type of thing or whatever it was. And then when you look back, you know, how much of a joy, how much extension it had given you in your life to do that type of event, that type of service, really. It's a service to others and ourselves at the same time. And it takes living in the now, not being afraid, not withholding, not wondering, not worrying, not regretting, but simply saying yes to life, to whatever brings forth to us. I wanted to share you a couple quotes with you in that regard. Eckhart Tolle. Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. It's not always easy to do, is it? Always work with it, not against it. Make it your friend and ally, not your enemy. This will miraculously transform your whole life. Just that one little thing, just to accept what life is presenting to us and not to fight it. Eckhart, and the other quote I wanted to share with you is Emmett Fox. The art of life is to live in the present moment and to make that moment as perfect as we can by the realization that we are the instruments and expression of God Himself. Recognize that it's not just this little peon, little me. No, this person that is responding, that is in the moment, is doing the very best I can at every single moment. Why? Because it's not my life I'm living the life of God. This light that I have in my soul is the same light that we all have. No difference. And this light, when we get rid of all the blinders, of all of the stuff, of all of the limitations, of all of the barriers, this light shines forth so that we can see by it. It lights our path as we go. One of the prayers that I say every day as I'm doing my stretching is one part of it that says, disclose to us thy divine light, which is hidden in our souls, so that we may know and understand life better. So many times we talk about light and that of understanding, of wisdom, to let that light that is within us lead us, to let this infinite being that we are grow, emerge, evolve, reveal. The master teacher in Matthew chapter 5, verses 14 through 16 said, "You are indeed the light of the world. A city that is built upon a mountain cannot be hidden. Nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, so that it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven." Your Father in heaven is right here within. That's how we are to glorify what we are, what it is to let that light shine. Don't be afraid to put it out there. I didn't have this in my notes, but it's funny because when I first started writing the thoughts for the week, it was in 2003. I had just become a minister in 2002. And I wanted so much to be accepted by the people in Alpine. It's a weekly column in their weekly newspaper. And so I actually would write my thought based on what I thought they wanted to read, on their perception, what I perceived as their perception, to be acceptable to them. And I don't remember where along the way I had this realization that, you know what? I just got to be me. I'm not going to try to morph myself into something else, because I don't know what these people are thinking anyway. You know? I have no idea. And it's so interesting. I ran into a gal at Barron's yesterday, as a matter of fact. She used to come here a long time ago, Cheryl. Probably most of you folks are different faces now than what there were then. But she said, I read your column every week. And so I wonder how many people read that column and get from it. I know a lot of people do. I've heard people say, yeah, I cut it out and put it on my refrigerator. But I've done it because I'm true to myself. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do and you to be. Because we're all unique expressions of this one power and this one presence. So I want us to be light. I want us to be joyful. I want us to be free. And to live in the absolute eternal present now. That's how we do it. To trust this divine light to lead and guide us. So I'm asking you to bring out your program, if you would, again, and bring at the bottom of the thought for the week, there's that affirmation. And I'd like us to read that together. I free myself from excess things, mental and emotional baggage, so I live in the ever-present now. In this way, I am available to shine the light from within me, and life is a joy. I was thinking, how am I going to close this talk? And I thought, oh, we all know that song. And I was so, thank you guys for teaching us new ones about light today. But of course, this little light of mine. But I thought, no, that's not quite right. It should be this great light of mine. This great light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This great light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This great light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. When in doubt and darkness, I'm gonna let it shine. When in doubt and darkness, I'm gonna let it shine. When in doubt and darkness, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time. This great light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This great light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This great light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. You guys want to help me?
I think that was perfect, just the way it was.
Perfect. Okay, my dears. Be that light. Shine that light so brightly, so lovingly. And enjoy and be free this entire week and lifetime. Namaste.
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 Thank you.